has changed, yes, that's escalated my level of concern.
Ben asks that if you do flush something down the toilet, keep it to that much coveted toilet paper. And remember that if you don't, someone else will have to keep your pipes clear.
Yes, it is. It puts our system at risk, puts our guys at risk. It's always a tricky operation to get in there and fix these pumps.
This also goes for things like baby wipes or makeup wipes. Now, if crews do see an uptick in people flushing wipes down the toilet and coming here to this lift station here in Wayland, that can mean having to replace the pump if it gets that bad. And that comes with a hefty price tag at about $18,000. Reporting in Wayland, Angela McCall, Fox 17 News.
As more develops when it comes to coronavirus, make sure to stay with Fox 17 on air, online, and our mobile news app for the latest updates. We also have a special section on our website with everything you need to know.
Well, the body of missing teen Eliza Traynor has been found. Traynor had been missing since New Year's Day. That's when she was swept into Lake Michigan. On Thursday, deputies found her body in the rocks along the North Pier at Holland State Park. And just yesterday, the autopsy results confirmed that she did drown. Investigators say there's nothing suspicious about this case.
All right, 6:09 everybody, and we're still retaining some clouds, but I've been looking at that infrared satellite imagery, and those clouds are breaking up from north to south, and I think right around the time of sunrise, which is close to 7:45, I think we're going to be trending towards a lot of daylight, sunlight, in fact, and that'll carry right on through this afternoon. 22 degrees, though. Boy, the atmosphere is chilly, especially with the clouds around in the overnight, to drop to those levels. So, in fact, if we do break these clouds up a bit, I think it's conceivable we may even drop another couple degrees. There's also a couple flurries you may notice if you're out here early on. Definitely nothing of substance, though, and those will be ending as these clouds do break up and yield to clearer skies. High pressure that is just off to our north, settling to the south. That'll be in control today. Not only will it cause sunshine to be abundant, but it will be backing down with the winds. Still showing a slight breeze out and about right now, but those winds will come down considerably between now and, say, 10, 11 o'clock this morning, and light winds this afternoon and evening. Our Sunday evening light snow system that we've been talking about now for the past day or so is over Southern California. That'll be arriving later on tomorrow night, but the majority of the weekend in pretty good shape. Sunshine today. We'll have some sunshine tomorrow as well. I'll spell it out for you. 37, though, is pretty chilly for this time of year. The average in GR for this March 21st, guys, is 47 degrees. When do we arrive back into the 50s? Because we will. I have some 50s on the 7-day board, and I'll have that full forecast for you coming up.
Anthony, thank you very much for that. Pretty hard to believe we're in springtime, right, Sarah?
I know, but we got some sunshine coming today, something for us all to look forward to.
Awesome. 6:11 coming up after the break.
Well, another star fades over the sky of the entertainment industry. We're going to be taking a look back at Kenny Rogers' legendary career.
Homeschooling your kids can be tempting, but it's not without drawbacks. The pros and cons of teaching at home and how to help them push through to the end.
A chemical company is shifting their efforts to produce thousands of gallons of hand sanitizer, what officials say might prevent them from getting out the product as quickly as they need to.
Many parents are prepping to spend extended time working remotely while homeschooling their kids. It's going to be tough. Pearson's Connections Academy provides K-12 online education, and they say it's important for parents, kids, and teachers to set a schedule and stick to it. Individual workspaces can also help keep everybody focused. Now, the Academy says online learning can be more personalized than a classroom setting. Parents should watch for kids who may be struggling to understand some material and not speaking up.
Sometimes it just takes a word or two of encouragement. So that sense of I'm in this by myself, we work really hard to mitigate that and make sure that students know, in fact, they're part of a community that cares about them as a learner and that will be there for them one-on-one.
Teachers working online for the first time can find resources on Pearson.com. Several education companies are now offering free subscriptions because of school closings. That includes Scholastic, which set up a Learn From Home website.
Well, a Texas chemical company is shifting its focus amid hand sanitizer shortages during this coronavirus outbreak. Custom Chemicals and Coating normally produces salt and brine remover, but in just a few days, the company was able to change its production line and make thousands of gallons of hand sanitizer. The owner says he's distributed to local first responders already, and he plans to expand to the general public very soon. But he says getting the raw materials to keep this going can be a challenge.
If you're a chemical supplier or something like that, don't ship your product out of state. Don't ship it out of Houston. Keep it here. We can turn it and, literally get it into people's hands in a matter of hours.
McAllister adds that he also plans to produce cleaning products in the next coming weeks.
All right, Sarah, let's get down to it. Let's try to deliver some good news now with regards to the forecast. And I've got some of it. Sunshine is going to be very, very plentiful today. However, this atmosphere is quite chilly for what is late March now, 21st day of March. We are to already the second full day of spring. And look at the visibilities in Grand Rapids. We don't have any inclement weather passing on through. We had that yesterday, but that has gone bye-bye. We've got some clouds early this morning. Those are breaking up as we speak from north to south very slowly, but just in time, I think, for the sunrise or shortly thereafter. Southern sections will be breaking up those clouds. Cold air in Canada, but not too terribly cold. Some of that cold air has come southward, and a lot of times if you bottle up real cold air in Canada, send it southward, it gets replaced by somewhat milder air where it discharged from, and the net result is there's a lot of real estate from north to south from Canada into a good chunk of the U.S. that is running below normal, but it's not way below normal, folks. And obviously, the further south that the cold air comes, it modifies just a bit. And, you get into late March, almost impossible to see, temperatures single digits or below zero, in fact, here in West Michigan. And we are not going to those levels. This is about as cold as it will be over the next 7 days. Lower 20s, though, with a north wind around 10 miles per hour. Saturday planner, I'm expecting sunshine here in GR at 9 a.m., 24, 25 degrees. We'll work into the lower 30s, eventually to say 37 degrees, and mostly sunny skies all day long. So that's the good news. The not so good news is that we're running about 10 degrees below normal for this time of year. The average high in GR is 47 for this time of year. You can see the clouds on that recent satellite imagery, but there are some breaks in the clouds materializing with some drier air working in from the north, and that clearing line is going to continue to settle southward with each and every passing hour going forward. High pressure responsible for that. That'll be right atop us today. That's going to keep winds on the light side as well. Gusts 30 to 40 miles per hour yesterday. Nothing like that for today, nor tomorrow, in fact. Next system over Southern California with the echoes of rain and some embedded snowflakes in higher elevations. That will be creeping our way, it does look like, for later tomorrow evening. So there is a chance here, folks, to get some sticking snow. Now, that sounds more ominous than is really going to come to fruition. I'm talking about a coating on mainly grassy surfaces and on car tops. Could there be a slush spot, though, on roads early Monday? It's a possibility, as 1 to 1.5 inch type of a snow looks to be coming about. Future Track HD, we'll put it in motion. Clouds breaking up. We've got lots of sunshine today. You can see some patches of clouds around the region, but I'm really looking for blue skies here locally, and just some passing thin high-level clouds. Tomorrow morning, we'll start off with sun. Next system creeping closer. That means we're increasing clouds in the afternoon, and this round of moisture, round of precipitation does get in here. We'll make it into the lower 40s, though. So by late afternoon, when it reaches southern sections, may come down in the form of rain. As it does precipitate, though, the column will become colder, and whatever mixture there is briefly goes over to snow. I'd say between about 9 p.m. and 6 a.m. on Monday. That's the time frame to get an inch, inch and a half. Grassy surfaces, folks. The ground is warm now, so some of what you're seeing on the model accumulating is going to be melting. Not a big storm, but may go white early on Monday. It melts by the afternoon, though. Temps in the 50s by midweek.
Music legendary Kenny Rogers passed away at the age of 81.
Stephanie Elam takes a look back at his award-winning career.
You picked a fine time to leave me, Lucille.
2 years before Lucille launched Kenny Rogers' solo career, he could barely afford to live in a motel. But when the song became a chart-topping crossover international hit, he had enough money to buy his own jet. Kenny Rogers was on a roll.
You got to know when to hold up, know when to fold up.
1978's The Gambler inspired 5 popular TV movies, with Rogers starring as the main character. He made another TV movie based on one of his songs, Coward of the County.
His father killed a man. It was a fair fight.
The country boy from Houston didn't start out in country music. He had a million-selling pop song at age 19 with the doo-wop group The Scholars.
Oh yes, I've got a crazy
Rogers also played bass in a jazz ensemble, spent a year in the mid-1960s singing clean-cut folk music with the New Christy Minstrels, then grew out his hair and rocked the next decade with the First Edition. Just Dropped In was the group's first big hit. After the First Edition folded in the mid-70s, Rogers headed to Nashville to start a solo career.
Lady, I'm your knight in shining armor, and I love you.
The classic love song, Lady, was written by Lionel Richie of the Commodores.
I try to do songs that say what every man would like to say and every woman would like to hear.
Rogers did duets as well. 1983's Islands in the Stream was written for someone else to sing, before Barry Gibb of the Bee Gees gave it to Rogers. It was the start of a lifelong friendship with Dolly Parton.
We can go on, pretending day by day.
Charity work was a big part of Rogers' life. We Are the World raised money for African famine relief, and he helped organize the poverty fundraiser Hands Across America. Later in life, Rogers opened a chain of restaurants, launched a record label, published his autobiography, and in 2014, he was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame. In 2015, at the age of 77, Rogers embarked on a tour billed as The Gambler's Last Deal, still singing his classics and still getting applause.
That sounded good.
Thank you.
Sarah Grimma's got a great voice. She was singing
Doing a
along the
little
whole
bit of
time.
singing.
Yeah.
Islands in the Stream with Dolly Parton. I am not lying. At least once a week I listen to that.
Yeah.
That is one of my favorites. A
You
lot
will
of
be
talent right
missed,
there.
That is for sure.
All right, you guys, it is 6:23. Here's a look what we have coming up on the show.
The coronavirus pandemic is overshadowing a key issue affecting every American.
State by state, one of the biggest questions is going to be, what are my alternatives?
Concerns officials are facing down the campaign trail.
And just because you're done using a fitness tracker doesn't mean that it's reached the end of its life. How a nonprofit hopes to reuse last year's model.
The coronavirus pandemic is uprooting nearly all aspects of our lives, from schooling to the economy and now our democracy.
Amanda Brandes looks at how this pandemic could reshape votes in November.
It's so important that you get out there and make your voice heard.
Ali Abu Kader spends a lot more time thinking about elections than the average college graduate.
Oh, the ultimate importance. Voting is your voice.
On Super Tuesday, he volunteered to monitor polls at churches and rec centers throughout Southern California. Those places now shut down to stop the spread of COVID-19.
As I guess the fear of coronavirus kind of heightens, it's important that other states and counties here in California consider more vote by mail, making voting a little bit more accessible.
I think for a lot of our registrars and election officials, they have been through some processes where they're planning for emergencies. COVID-19 is adding a whole nother layer.
Kathy Fung is executive director of California Common Cause, a nonpartisan organization dedicated to making voting more accessible. With 30 states in the network, their election protection hotline is being flooded with calls.
State by state, one of the biggest questions is going to be, what are my alternatives?
A newly proposed bill in Congress would give all Americans the right to vote by mail if 25% of states declared an emergency related to the coronavirus. It would provide $500 million to fund the vote by mail efforts. But making that change quickly won't be easy.
If states want to turn more to mail-in by the fall, they have to do an aggressive campaign and put the money into it to be sure everybody gets one, and then you remind them to send them back in.
Political science professor Carl Luna believes Congress should funnel money into dealing with these issues, just as it is into the economy.
Elections have to happen. Congress could postpone the November election, but by January 20th, the president under the Constitution is out of office, and you need to have a replacement in place.
If the general is postponed, It would be a first in American history.
If we could do it during the Civil War, we could do it now. We just need the resolve and the funding to do it.
Until then, voting advocates like Ali remain committed to helping Americans navigate the uncharted road ahead. Reporting in San Diego, I'm Amanda Brandeis.
Well, with fitness trackers as part of our daily workouts, one thing that we need to always keep in mind is how to properly get rid of them. Wow, I can't talk. Sorry.
Well, oftentimes people stick fitness trackers into a drawer and we completely forget about them. Researchers at Tufts University are making sure that trackers get recycled and benefit other people as well. So Recycle Health, it's a nonprofit that has been able to collect 5,000 fitness trackers over the course of 5 years. They only take trackers that last at least 48 hours on one charge. That's before they're cleaned and tested. Most trackers are given to fitness programs with underserved populations, like senior citizens in low-income areas or veterans with PTSD. She says that the program aims to help all people with one goal.
For instance, somebody who is in a cardiac rehab program, what is going to help them? And in particular, how can an activity tracker help them in sustaining healthy habits, including fitness?
People who receive a tracker are shown how to use it, along with a smartphone app that pairs with it. If you want to give yours to Recycle Help, you can find the recyclehealth.com instructions all listed for you on our website. Well, one New Hampshire neighborhood is using smooth sounds to cope with the coronavirus pandemic.
Take a listen to what they've got going on. That's fun. Sounds like New Orleans right there. Just before the sun sets, neighbors, they've been coming outside for a concert put together by local musicians. They say it seemed like a good way to keep a sense of community while staying safe. The group puts on a show every night.
Very cool, very swanky.
Yeah, it is. You know, the reason I've been stumbling over my words, I was thinking of a joke.
What are you thinking of?
With this quarantine going on right now, I'm only going to be telling inside jokes from now on.
There you go.
Yeah? Hey, 6:30 coming up after the break.
Well, the spread of the coronavirus has left a West Michigan man actually stuck in Peru. We're going to tell you how you can help get him back home. That's coming up.
Well, first responders are asking for your help during the nationwide shortage of personal protection equipment. I'm going to tell you how you can help as early as today, coming up.
Hey, Sarah and Brody, you guys laughing out in the studio. I am not laughing here in the Weather Center because look at this, a stripe of some wet snow late tomorrow night, early Monday morning. What does that mean for us here in West Michigan? Your forecast is coming up next.
Well, hospitals need gloves and masks and gowns more than ever right now.
Savannah Fish reporting from where you can make a donation. Savannah.
That's right, you guys. There is a nationwide shortage for personal protection equipment that's used by nurses, doctors, first responders, all reacting to the COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic. And you guys, there's a PPE drive that's being held today. There's actually a couple. So to tell us a little bit more about that, I have some of the organizers that are organizing the drives today. Good morning, ladies. How are you doing? Good morning. Good. So tell me a little bit about the drive. Why did you guys decide to host it, and how urgent is this drive?
So Jerry contacted me earlier this week and simply asked for just one box of masks to help the hospital out, and I just decided that wasn't enough. So we put together a drive and asked our whole community. We started with dentists, but now we've reached out to anyone that has any personal protective equipment available.
Yeah.
And are making sure that everyone that's on the front line has what they need.
Yeah. And you are on the front line. We're just talking about your schedule and how crazy that's been. I mean, what are the different supplies that you guys are really in desperate need of?
I think mostly masks, gloves, disposable gowns, hand sanitizer, disinfectant wipes for our surfaces. We're in incredibly short supply. At one point this week, we realized we had 6 days of masks left for an epidemic that is likely to last for months. So I thought of Hillary and knew she was the supreme organizer, so reached out to her, and what they've done so far has just really exceeded my wildest dreams.
Yeah, what do people need to know? I mean, these really are going to make an impact and potentially saving lives.
Yeah, this, especially for frontline healthcare workers and the patients we care for, will save lives incredibly. More lives than that will be saved if people just stay home as much as possible. That's probably the real cure for this epidemic, but this right now, in the time of greatest need, is going to be life-saving.
Yeah, so let's talk about the procedure of how this is going to work today. There's a couple of different locations. We have those up on your screen right now, but how is this going to work? What are the rules?
So basically, we're asking you don't come if you've had a cough, fever, or someone in your household has had a cough or fever within the past 48 hours. And then we're also asking that you load everything that you have in your trunk so you do not have to get out, and we can practice social distancing. And just drive on up and someone will unload your trunk for you, and we'll get it this afternoon right away to the hospitals.
Awesome. And then let's just go over the equipment one more time, like the different things that people can donate, unused, of course.
We need gloves, masks, hand sanitizer, and disinfectant wipes or cleaner that's designed for surfaces. And if anybody's got disposable gowns, those are helpful too.
Awesome. All right, you guys. Well, we're going to have some more information on these drives on Fox 17 online and on our mobile news app for more information there. So you can head over there and check that out. And we'll be live here every half hour leading up to the event. So make sure you stay with us. But for now, live in Grand Rapids, Savannah Fish, Fox 17 News.
Savannah, thank you. Well, it may be a while before some Americans can get back home from being abroad. One mother in Muskegon hoping that any day now her son will be able to come home from Peru. Luke Sasink traveled to Peru to volunteer at the Children's Clinic, but he is still there and everyone is in quarantine. He's unsure of how and when he's going to get home. Meantime, his mom, Mary, who lives in Muskegon, calls him and sends him daily texts to keep their spirits lifted. Mary has booked a couple of flights for Luke, but flight bans and the inability to get to only one airport is keeping him there.
Sometimes it makes me really sad. And sometimes, it's just good to hear his voice.
Yeah.
But a mom can read their son by seeing in their face.
It's been like a roller coaster, but overall doing okay and have everything that I need.
So Luke says that he's hearing about a possible flight next week, but he's not sure if it's going to work out just yet.
Amway's working around the clock to get cleaning supplies into the right hands. They're donating 10,000 bottles of hand sanitizer to Spectrum Health, the hospital receiving the delivery at its warehouse in Walker on Friday. Now, the company started their production line back up, and it hasn't been running since 15 years ago. After learning of the shortage, Amway stepped up to make the hand sanitizer for the hospitals as well as Kids Food Basket.
Coronavirus has had an impact on many businesses, with some places saying that they're seeing their sales skyrocket. One of those businesses is Sparta Sports Shop. The owner says he usually sells about 10 guns a month, but the sales are now 5 times higher. Ammo is flying off of the shelves, but reordering products is delayed because distributors are backed up too. It also takes a little longer than normal for customers to get legal clearance from the National Institute of Criminal Background Check system.
Right now, they're putting a lot of them on delay, and it's taking up to 10 to 15 minutes to get an answer back. Normally, within 5 minutes, you got your answer. There's nothing in the systems. All the distributors are out. I was one of the last stores in the area that had 9mm shells.
The store plans to be up and running every day.
Planet Fitness joins a growing list of businesses closing due to COVID-19. They say monthly payments for March are still coming to your bills. Now, they'd reopened giving credit to those closed days that had already been paid for, but they also say that they won't charge any other monthly bills until they reopen. So for those of you who still want to stay active, they're going to be offering online fitness classes. Those are happening online every night at 7 p.m. More developments when it comes to coronavirus pandemic. Fox 17 News on air, online, and our mobile news app has everything you need to know with the latest updates. And there's also a special section on our website with what you need to keep up to date with.
Alrighty, Mr. Carter, we've got a cold start, temps in the lower 20s, and I went outside a few moments ago. The clouds are breaking up, so I think we're going to start off with sunshine in Grand Rapids, start off with sunshine for a lot of us here around West Michigan, and carry that right on into the afternoon. Look at the reading off the thermometer, though, at the airport in GR, 22 degrees, and with a northeast wind still at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. We've got wind chills in the lower teens. That's a cool open here on March 21st, and temperatures all around our viewing area. They're running from the lower 20s to, well, perhaps approaching the upper 20s, Three Rivers and over towards Benton Harbor. If you look closely here, you'll notice that there are some grays showing up on the satellite imagery from around a latitude of GR and southward to Kalamazoo, Battle Creek, southward from there. Also another patch of clouds northwestward near the lakeshore. But there is some drying working in and breaking those clouds apart. So between now and sunrise, which is about an hour from now, and the hour or two after there, I think the majority of us are going to be getting into clear skies with just a couple passing clouds. Also high pressure to our north, a big reason why we are seeing these clouds break up, and also a big reason why the winds are going to die down over the next several hours and remain that way for the majority of today. Sunday evening, light snow system, the energy for this disturbance is right over Southern California. That'll be moving to the east and northeast with time, bringing up just a bit of Gulf of Mexico moisture for later tomorrow evening. We do have some snow showers to talk about, but for today, first things first, mostly sunny skies, going to be chilly, average high at 47, so we're running about 10 degrees below normal. Most of tomorrow will be dry as well, even some sunshine in the morning. But what about this talk of snow showers that may stick tomorrow night? Well, we'll get to it. I'll have more coming up.
Snow in the springtime.
I was going to say, so I actually have some friends up north who were posting pictures yesterday when we were getting all that rainfall in the morning, and they got like a couple inches of snow up there.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe bust out the snowmobiles, huh?
I know, maybe.
Okay, very good. Well, whatever you do, stay safe, stay healthy.
It is 6:42. Here's a look what's still coming up.
Schools moved online. It's a new problem for parents now needing to stay home and work at the same time. Now, we're learning about internet connections, which can be troublesome, what one group is doing to help those families out.
Welcome back. It is 6:45 on your Saturday morning. Well, schools are closed and many classes are now moved online. But what about the students who do not have a laptop or reliable internet at home?
Fox's Bill Spencer, he sees how one group is helping those kids continue to learn.
Hi, you guys. You're here to register for your CompuDot computer? Yes.
Driving up in her car with her 9-year-old daughter, Charisse, Samantha Miller is a hard-working Houston mom raising 3 children who right now is desperately trying to get a laptop computer for her kids so they can distance learn and communicate with their schools during the coronavirus crisis. Now, thanks to a unique tech-oriented charity called CompuDot, which works to provide low-income families with computers, Samantha's daughter is getting a free laptop computer.
I actually have 3 kids, and now all 3 of them are going to be home until school lets back in whenever. So this device actually helps them being able to do their homework and staying on task and keeping up with the learning curriculum so they won't fall behind.
For right now, we have about 400 computers that we can give away this week.
CompuDot takes donations of computers from private citizens and corporations, wipes them of all information, refurbishes them, and then gives them away to needy families. Who are the people eligible to get these computers?
So families with a child in K through 12 education who don't have access to a computer at home right now.
Across town in the 5th Ward, another charitable group, the Julia C. Hester House, helps low-income kids and their families with school supplies, tutoring, and after-school meals. They are also working right now to help children who are stuck at home to keep them from falling behind at school.
We're working with families. We know that there are some opportunities out there and identify resources. For instance, Comcast is offering free internet services for 60 days.
All right, welcome back, everybody. 6:47 on Saturday morning, and we are breaking up clouds locally in GR. That process is occurring from north to south across the viewing area. You step outside, the first thing you're noticing, though, are these very cold temperatures. We're in the lower 20s, and some spots even dropping into the upper teens in northern sections. Where's the cold air coming from? Well, you may have guessed it, Canada. That's usually where it does come from. And when it discharges a big load of cold air and does move southward, a lot of times it's replaced by temperatures that are marginally milder. Yeah, it still looks chilly, but it does become milder from where it did come from, that coldest of the air. And you can see the displacement of the coldest air in eastern Canada, though the majority of this past winter all the cold air was bottled up in northern and western Canada into Alaska, where well below normal temperatures for the winter season were recorded. And typically when it's way below normal in Alaska, folks, we get a milder trend across the lower 48. That was our winter, but as the pattern is shaking out, at least in the short term, we've got some colder air that has come down into the Midwest and Great Lakes, and we are in the lower 20s. It's going to be a chillier type of a day here on Saturday and Sunday. The good news is that we're in late March now, and even when you get a cold punch of air dropping southward, it's going to be modified by the greater higher sun angle and the longer days, so we will make it back into the upper 30s by day's end today. A north wind at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Still a hint of a breeze around, but nothing like yesterday's gust at 30 to 40 miles per hour. And those winds, I think, actually die down even further. This 5 to 10 miles per hour is probably on the high side for the midday and late day periods. 31 degrees becomes a 37-degree high temperature in GR. The average, keep in mind, for this time of year is 47, so we're running about 10 degrees below normal this afternoon. A little bit of progress will get made, though, on Sunday. We've got clouds around the southern half of lower Michigan, but they are breaking up as high pressure is funneling in some drier air from the north. No big systems anywhere nearby, but over southern California, you see some moisture there, and that is the weather system that will be bringing about, it looks like, snow showers later on tomorrow night. This is the look over the next couple of weeks. No big cold air masses dropping southward, but also it's going to be tough to get any prolonged big warm-ups in here as well, though this is a time of year where you can't help but get some 50s on your 7-day chart, and that's what I've got for you in just a moment. Weekend sunshine. We'll have some around tomorrow morning, but clouds increasing, leading to this next system. Folks, it's not a monster system, but it will have enough moisture to lay down, I think, some light accumulations of snow across portions of the viewing area by later tomorrow night. This is today into tonight. Skies will be mostly sunny. Skies will be mostly clear overnight tonight. Tomorrow morning, here's the time code at 8 a.m. We'll begin with sunshine, but clouds will be increasing late morning and especially during the afternoon, and moisture will reach our southern counties here right along the Michigan-Indiana line probably as soon as 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, then lift northward as we get into the mid-evening period, and it may come down initially as some rain or a mixture, but change over to snow as the column does cool on down, and it will snow for a period, probably 10 o'clock at night here in GR till 4 or 5 in the morning. That'll be the time frame to get some accumulation. Not a great accumulation, folks, and mainly on grassy surfaces and car tops, but there can be an inch or possibly 2 of some slushy snow. Much of that will melt on the pavement, but there could be a slick spot around on Monday morning. Otherwise, we're warming up. It'll be melting by the afternoon, and some 50s with rain showers through the work week.
All right, at least we're